Hey guys, I'm Drew, and I'm going to be telling you about how New York changed my life. Okay, so before we even get talking, alright, we need to talk about this long itinerary of things that we had planned to do. And let me keep you in touch, but basically this trip was a theater class trip. So I went with all of my fellow theater friends, and we all went to New York for 5 days in total. And so I'm going to run you guys down this itinerary before I actually get to the reasons on why and how New York really did change my life. Okay, day 1. We arrive at Newark from LAX. And it's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, it's busy, it's crowded, it's loud, it's cold. It's freaking cold. Guys, we just landed at Newark.
We're so excited.
Don't play.
Goodbye America, hello New Jersey.
Exactly. We're gonna be going to an amazing Italian restaurant tonight. So keep tuned for that.
And so I'm real bundled up with my 2 jackets, 1 scarf, 1 pair of gloves. And then we go on a bus and we kind of do a little touring on this bus. So basically showing us around Radio City Music Hall, driving by it, Rockefeller Center we saw, and then we arrive at our hotel and we check in. And the moment that we step into the hotel air, as we're about to go back on the bus to leave and go to our next excursion, you know, we get a huge whiff of pot. Literally. Of smoke, of cigarettes, and we're like, wow, this is the life. It was honestly a really cute hotel. It was just not enough to fit 4 people despite the 2 bedroom rooms we had. Then we go to Rockefeller Center. Ooh, Rockefeller Center. And we actually get to go to the top and we get a big little tour of the whole building, and we get to the top and it's so beautiful. I think that was one of the first things that really stood out to me, was just how, you know, big and huge the city was, despite there being a lot of like fog and cloudy stuff because of the weather. But it was so beautiful, such a beautiful view. It really made me start thinking about what kind of place would I like to live in the future, and that was a big teller. After Rockefeller Center, then we went to Times Square, and Times Square, to be honest, for me is just not the place to be. I know that is not the core of it is technically the core of New York, but I knew that there was so much more outside of that. But Times Square just really wasn't for me. It was so busy and so loud in a very obnoxious and overwhelming way, because there's people trying to sell you stuff. There's a whole bunch of strange smells. There's a lot of people doing their little dances in their costumes of like Spider-Man and a gorilla. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. It was just like a more enhanced downtown LA to me. But it was very fun. It was very cool. I loved exploring it despite how big and ginormous it was. Day 2. So first thing, bright and early in the morning, we go to this theater vocal workshop, and we actually went into this studio where, you know, auditions are happening, dance classes are happening, and it was so crazy because everybody, like, they were there for their job and they were there to get auditioned. And, you know, being a theater kid myself, you know, seeing it playing out in the actual world is really, really intriguing and very, very cool. We're actually led by a music director and music producer, and also a person or an actor who was playing a gypsy, which we were going to see that night. It was very interesting to see. Like, he was so very knowledgeable about what he had to say and how he critiqued, and it was such a big perspective opener to see somebody critique in such a way. And also just, I don't know, he was just a whole type of personality, and I loved it. And after that workshop, I felt like these were my people. Like, I felt like these artistically oriented people really touch my heart and really connect with me on a deeper level that I feel like I wouldn't be able to find very much in California. And that day I was truly just relishing in New York and its city and what it has to offer, and I was just mesmerized. I was amazed and really inspired. I was very motivated to, you know, change up my future plan because of how this city made me feel. That night, we see Gypsy. Gypsy was good. It wasn't one of my favorites that we saw on this trip, but you can't deny Taylor Woods was there. And she was great. I loved it all. And day 3. So this morning, we didn't really have much to do. Basically, we went to Times Square, and in the morning, actually, more around lunchtime, and we just walked around and had lunch. I loved walking around the city, and I just love walking. I loved walking in this city. It was really fun and really beautiful. We saw Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen was really not a favorite of mine. Just a disclaimer. I won't go into much depth about it because there are many people that feel the complete opposite of me and probably have very strong opinions about it. It just wasn't for me. That's all I have to say. And then we had dinner, and then we went to go see Book of Mormon. Oh, I loved Book of Mormon. I might get canceled for saying that, but I loved Book of Mormon. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I love seeing shows where you can tell that the actors are having fun. And I think that Book of Mormon was such a good display of that because they just seemed like they were having the greatest time up there, and it made me feel so happy and so inspired just watching them. I was so entertained. Oh, and also we got pics with literally everybody in the cast because they all came out, and oh my gosh, wait, I need to literally research the freaking actress because she was freaking beautiful. Keziah John Paul was so sweet. When she came out, she literally saw me and was like, your hair is so beautiful, and I was totally fangirled after that. I was like, wow, I really felt that. I felt that in my soul. And I really felt that. She's very sweet. Oh my gosh. That whole cast was very sweet when they were interacting with their fans, and I am so grateful that I got to meet them in that way. Then afterwards, we went back to Times Square because that was like our whole routine. Basically, you go to all your shows and we do all our excursions during the day, and then we have a bunch of free time to go to Times Square. And we went to Times Square and we went to Junior's and had the best cheesecake ever. Oh my god, I had blueberry cheesecake and it was bomb. It was so tasty. I like, oh my god. Totally go and get yourself some New York cheesecake from Junior's because it's so yummy. Day 4 was like excursion day, and essentially excursion day, we split up into groups based on what excursion we wanted to go to on that day, and I chose to go bike riding in Central Park. And Central Park was absolutely beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And biking uphill is not for the weak. Please stay safe. But Central Park is really beautiful. I can totally see myself coming back and just, taking a walk around because it's huge. Not only that, it's huge, but it's also so much nature to admire. There was like a lake you could just stop by and look at. So wonderful. After we went bike riding, we were basically sent off on our own, or essentially with groups, to go get lunch. And I went to Pretz with 2 of my friends, and it was so yummy. I really liked their food. I had a sandwich, and I had this mango yogurt parfait thing, and it was really tasty. And then that night we got to see Little Shop of Horrors with Milo Manheim and Liz Gillies. Oh my god, them being such really prominent childhood actors for me really hit. And I was so lucky, me and my friends, like, we got tickets two rows from the front, so we were in the second row, and it was so cool. You could see everything, like seeing them so close, like literally just 5 feet away from you. So cool. And you can see just like them like in all their glory. It's just like, it's like HD to the max, but it's in real life, which is so much cooler. It was also a very small, intimate theater that we saw them. So cute, and especially the outside part of it was really adorable. I really liked the street, even though it kind of smelled like piss. It was okay. Just the looks of it really captured my attention. Oh, at the end when they were done with bows, oh my god, Milo came up to the front, or he like leaned down to the front and gave everybody high fives, and I was one of those people. I ran down and I got myself a high five from Milo Manheim. And then afterwards we were just waiting outside, and Milo actually, he ended up driving by. He drove by us and we were all screaming and crying. Here's the video. And then after that, we went back to the hotel and took ourselves a good night's sleep. Then day 5 comes around. First thing we did was go on the bus, and we took the bus to Chelsea Market and the Chelsea Pier. It was awesome, but we went into Chelsea Market and I had the best grilled cheese at one of this place. I think it was Sarah Beth's Bakery. Very yummy. I loved it. Super cute market, just very expensive as expected, but really fun, and I had a great time. After that, we headed back and we got into the bus and we went over to Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center was really, I loved Lincoln Center because I think it was just captured so many artistic, creative people just in one place. Like, it was such a concentrated place of just artistic oriented people, and I think that was really cool because it's a bunch of theaters, it's a bunch of there was a big mural too, a lot of art. And I was really fascinated because me as a person, I find myself to be very creative, and I really am drawn to things that are just unconventional and different. I love creative people, and I think that they're so fascinating. I think they're really beautiful in their own way. And New York was really full of it, especially Lincoln Center. Then we got back on the bus and we ended up going back to New York and had a great time. You know, I actually dozed off. Everybody was so tired by the time we got on the bus to go back to the airport. But despite all the tiredness, I had such a great time and it was really freaking awesome. Okay, and now to circle back to this one question. How exactly did New York change my life? Being a senior and in high school and having to think about college really drilled in your head. It really turned my whole college plan around because after this visit, I realized I really want to live in New York and be in New York, not even just Manhattan because that was just where we were the whole time, but I would love to visit the other 5 boroughs and just like around the city. I think New York just has so much to offer, so many opportunities and so many different cool people to meet. I think that New York really fosters a home of great, unconventional and artistic people. And I have found myself in California just not being able to fit in a lot of places because of, the type of person that I am and my interests and everything that I want to do. But I felt really at home and like I belonged in New York, and that was a beautiful realization to make. And so what exactly is my college plan? So basically I do plan to go to community college for 2 years and then transfer all my credits and go to a university in New York. And then from that point on, hopefully live there. And great place to be, and I'm so grateful and happy that I got to go on a trip like this because it was so cool. It was so awesome. That just gives you something to think about. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Okay, hi guys, this is Editing Drew, but basically the synopsis of this video is for you guys to just try and find a place and that where you feel like you belong, because that is truly the most important thing. And when it comes to deciphering your future and what you plan to do and where you plan to be in the next few years of your life, if you are my age and an upcoming high school senior or whatever, even if you're not even my age, like, it is a good thing to think about where you want to be or what kind of place you want to be. And I feel like these types of trips, like the one I just went on, is really helpful to, finding a place where you feel like you belong. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.